Right, time to hit the gym. I doubt there's too much more we'd need to do to prepare for Erica anyway. I'm sure that's rather titillating to look at, sir, though I can't help wondering why the people localizing here in the States felt the need to remove the reference to alcohol earlier, but not the blatantly perverted bastard just outside the all-ladies gym. I'm a challenger to this gym. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed in here. Not that I know what the precise rules of the Pokemon League around here are. I'm just guessing that if someone wants to challenge, then they're allowed to enter. Especially since we need 8 badges to get to the Elite Four, and there are only 8 gyms available to give us badges in this region. Bit more effort than I was expecting, considering we're throwing a fire type into a grass specialized gym. And of course, when you look at the level difference here. Right, of course sooner or later Stun Spore would hit. Well, this girl certainly likes slowing us down. Is that going to be a standard tactic in this gym? Hell, is that how grass types are supposed to be raised, and I've just been raising Phyllis wrong? Because it certainly feels like a possibility, especially since I generally have more experience with fire starters instead of grass ones. This is starting to feel ridiculous, and it's kind of making me feel worried about Garm's chances of sweeping through this gym. At the very least, let's get someone who hasn't been Stun Spored to finish this fight off. I know we're a little crazy to send a rock type into a grass gym, still, we're seeing mostly Wrap and Paralysis here. It's not like we're seeing anything like Vine Whip or Mega Drain. Oh dear, so one of the things that gives this gym some personality is apparently Misandry. I suppose that gives the place a bit more personality than some of the other gyms, but it's still a bit annoying. Especially since there wasn't any choice in the player gender until the tail end of the second generation. If there was, then I'd be curious if they actually would have gone through the effort to change the dialogue up to account for either a guy or a girl walking in here. I know they did at least a minimal amount of change for a girl walking in for the remake Fire Red and Leaf Green, but then again, the game designers haven't exactly got a great reputation when it comes to making massive improvements or paying attention to details in this series. Ugh. At best, you get incremental improvements that they might occasionally decide to forget about. Right, how long until Garm ends up paralyzed or poisoned this time? Okay, sleep is also annoying, but at least it isn't something worth going to the Pokemon Center for. It's not Garm's fault that he doesn't hit as hard as a Charmeleon, or that I'd prefer he knows Flamethrower before I decide to evolve him with a Firestone. Well, at least a grass-type absorption move does very little damage to a fire-type. Still, not a good look for Garm, since he's supposed to be our anti-grass expert, and he's been having trouble inside of the bloody grass gym. And I don't have the impression it's because the trainers here are especially skilled at countering their own weaknesses. Just that despite the level and type advantage, Garm just doesn't have the stats yet to be an especially powerful force on our team. Still, he's got 16 wins on his proverbial belt right now, and it's only gonna grow from here on while we're in this city. Let's just keep pushing. I'd ask why she's sending out a second Oddish when we already beat one, but then that first one did more damage to Garm. Still, I think she should have had some more variety in her Pokemon lineup here. Sure, Oddish seems to be a pain in the ass for us to deal with, even with our designated anti-grass Pokemon, but still, there should be enough grass types in the first generation that she should be able to have 4 distinct ones on her team. We should be able to finish off her second Bellsprout here, assuming, of course, that Garm gets a chance to spit some fire at it. I'm sorry about the little guy, but I think he's gonna need to take another trip to the Pokemon Center here. I know I said earlier on that he was gonna be the runt of the litter until we finally turned him into an Arcanine, but still, seems this gym really wants to make it clear that it'd have been better for me to either keep Mig on the team this long, or just plain have picked the usual starter that I left with the blue team for this run. Another one from Marbleback in a gym he should probably have never walked into. Helps when you know some of these grass types don't have a grass type move to use against us. That edge only means something if you have an attack that uses the grass type. If you don't, then you're just getting into a slugging match with something that's built to take a beating and dish one out in return. Oh, I'm sure we'll see you again several more times before we're done with that gym. Once more into the greenhouse. Not that it really looks like much of a greenhouse outside of the anime, from what I remember. In the Let's Go games, they didn't really do much to make it really look more interesting inside. Sure, the assets are 3D in the newer remakes, and they made the room larger, but somehow, I was kind of expecting more. Fire Red and Leaf Green could get away with doing less to change that room, since it was a first remake, just 2 generations later in the series. The Let's Go games were released from Generation 7, and by that point I was hoping they'd make more massive changes, since they'd already done a remake of this same generation before. Maybe I just had too much faith in those guys. And yet another reason to pull back for healing, I swear. It's with every trainer in this bloody gym. I was expecting to have to deal with this kind of crap when we finally get to Koga, not when we're still back with Erica. Right, level 30 with a grand total of 20 on the scoreboard so far, assuming I haven't miscounted. Well done, Garm. definitely feel that Roar is the most useless move we've got, so I may as well get rid of it as soon as possible. Well, you shouldn't be shocked that a pair of grass types got toasted by a fire dog. Right, and checking the moves in the status screen in this game doesn't tell us what type that move is. Lady, I would have thought that you'd be able to tell the difference between a peeping Tom and a challenger. At the very least, I don't think Jack is old enough to have hit puberty, so why in the hell would he be peeping on you? Of course, now I can't help wondering why there's a peeping Tom for this gym, but not for the gym with people who are explicitly always in swimsuits. Is that just supposed to be another thing I'm not supposed to really think about around here? Right. Let's see if Neo dealing with things will mean we can take out more than just one trainer before we have to pull back out. Or am I just going to be especially unlucky in this clip? Well, with the exception of especially weak at the start Pokemon like Abra and Magikarp, it's generally reasonably easy to train a lot of Pokemon regardless of what type. So maybe that's one of the unspoken powers of the player character around here, where people who actually live in this world might have trouble raising Pokemon of various types. We can raise any type with little to no trouble, though I suppose when it comes to giving them various moves, I seem to be having some issues with grass types. Yeah. Poor girl just didn't have a chance to do anything with Neo on the screen. Kind of surprised I don't send him out more often, considering he's so consistently powerful against pretty much every gym leader. Hell, Marbleback doesn't feel as badass as him, but Marbleback is a full 20 wins ahead of Neo here. Huh. I was pretty sure it was your profession, considering you're inside a Pokemon gym and helping the leader deal with all comers. Okay, one of the few grass types that would make things tough for Neo here. At least we got pretty lucky against that Execute. Why is it this is the only one we've ever seen in this gym so far? Again? Neo gets through a battle without taking any damage in return. He's truly the one. So why don't I have him out in these battles often enough that he catches up with the other main members of the team? He's closer to Garm's score than anyone else's. Well, you're polite enough to not accuse us of being a pervert just because we were born the opposite gender. Granted, not everyone in this gym has done so, but 2 out of 6 unnamed gym trainers is still a bit of an annoying number for that sort of thing. Okay, why is it that when the player wants to switch, that's the first move that happens, but when the AI wants to do it, it doesn't get the same priority? Also, not seeing the point behind switching out when it's not like she's got any Pokemon that are resistant to Psychic. I wouldn't even say that delayed the pain in any way. Gloom and Weepinbell just went down just as fast as they would have if they just stayed in and tried attacking us in return. Okay, was this girl's strategy to just let us level up Neo so whoever came up next wouldn't be such a monster for her last Pokemon? Because no matter how I look at it, that just feels like such a stupid strategy, especially since it's not like we're going to be tired when we finally get around to challenging Erica. We are in absolutely no hurry and can go back to the Pokemon Center anytime we want. Well, it's no surprise you were beaten with tactics like that. Oh, please, it wouldn't have mattered what Pokemon you brought if you're willing to let 2 out of 3 just take free hits from a Pokemon that's higher leveled and super effective against you. Well, you don't have any risk of us braining bugs in here. Butterfree and Beedrill aren't what I would call amazing when you get to the 3rd or 4th gyms. The more impressive bugs are harder to get, to the point that I don't think it's even possible to have one before we get to this gym without outright bullshittery. Bit of a shame, since I wouldn't mind having a Scyther or Pinsir, but they're much like Onix in that it feels like it'd be too much of a pain in the ass to get them, considering what they bring to the table, especially here in the 1st generation. I think the pure Bug-type moves are about as pathetic as they get at this point. That wouldn't be quite so annoying if it wasn't for the fact that Bugs are supposed to be one of the few counters for Psychic around here, and they can't manage to pull it off. Yeah, doesn't seem to be any reason to get Kohaku out of here at the moment. Really? Trying to poison an explicitly poison type here? That's about as dumb as it comes. Sure, she doesn't have too many options, but why choose the one that's doomed to never work at all, instead of sticking with something that, while ineffective in the long run, at least still manages to do something? Well, she has to be skilled to be a gym leader. I believe that's one of the bloody requirements to be a gym leader around here. Anyway, another run to the Pokemon Center. Sure, it's not strictly needed, but I'd rather take her home fresh. It's not like there's anything preventing us from doing so. On second thought, while saving and ending the recording session there would probably be good, I'm feeling pretty confident we can do things in under half an hour here. Especially with the magic of fast forwarding. Well, of course it's lovely weather. This game doesn't have any weather effects at all, so it's always a pleasant day out. Considering the other trainers in the building we beat, you'd think she'd already know we're here to fight. Either she's always lethargic and sleepy, or some of the plants in here are, shall we say, a little, groovy. I doubt it's the second, since this is supposed to be a kid's game, and that kind of overt drug reference wouldn't get through, especially during the time period when this game was made. Still, when the only personality trait they give her is that she's constantly tired and mellow, it's easy to take that extra step that she's, taken a few of the, well, more benign drugs. Again, the anime and manga gave her more of a personality due to the fact that she was around for more than just a singular encounter. She was still a throwaway character in the anime, like the games, but they at least gave her time to show she was more than just another roadblock for Ash to overcome. Oh dear! It was close, but it looks like our victory bell proved better than Kohaku right now. And now I'm crazy enough to send the rock against another grass type in here. At least we only need to land one hit to win. One hit that Marbleback isn't going to be able to land. Eesh. I figured as much, but hey, considering some of the other fights in this gym, can you blame me for being a bit hopeful? God damn it, this victory bell has certainly proven to be quite an obstacle on our path, and it's just our first Pokemon. I'd ask how Blue Team is handling Erica, but I suppose we won't be seeing that until the next clip. Well, if she's gonna keep trying to use something that isn't gonna work, who am I to correct her? I'm too busy correcting myself. Well, that certainly took quite a bit of effort to bring down. Definitely got to give her props for taking down 2 of our Pokemon with her first. Nobody else we've faced so far has pulled that one off. And anyone else find it awesome that Phyllis managed to learn Razor Leaf while in the grass gym? Leech Seed was certainly a pivotal move right from the start, but that style of fighting isn't really for me, so goodbye to that move. Again, probably insane of me to send a water type against a grass type. I'm kinda hoping the secondary flying type helps limit the damage we might take here. Well, at least she isn't throwing a grass-type move at us, that's something. Sorry, but stalling tactics just don't work against a heavy hitter like that can take a beating in return here. Garm, you're up to bat now. Finish her. Okay, that was a lot of damage for a non-effective move there, but well, you almost managed to take down another member of our team, but almost doesn't mean much. It's all about who's standing tall at the end. That gym was definitely tougher than I was expecting. Hey, you're no slouch either. You and your subordinates made me more than a little embarrassed that I don't respect the grass type more, or use them more efficiently. Still, that's part of the reason why you need a diverse team. It's to not only cover your Pokemon's various strengths and weaknesses, but your own as well. Next time, we see how Blue Team fares against Erica. Then we have the Red Team versus Blue Team session in Stadium. don't be too impressed. There's gonna be plenty from this generation we're never gonna even have in the books. Bloody hell, I need a bit of a break after that set of fights, that's for sure.